All right. Welcome back to
What's
another.
up?
We'll get to you in just a minute, man. Right now, I got on the line a newcomer, Omar Juarez. We're gonna chat, get a couple questions in with the young super lightweight fighting out of the state of Texas. He'll be performing on the undercard of the Jermall Charlo and Brandon Adams fight coming up on the 29th. And I want to welcome you to the show, man. What's going on?
What's up, man? Thank you for having me.
No problem, no problem. Sorry for the last minute stuff, man. I was trying to get some things worked out, and you know, I was coming in from cutting some grass.
No, it's all good. It's all good, man. As long as you get to have me, it's all good.
So you said you did some sparring last night, man. Who'd you get in there with?
Last night I went in with Oscar Perez, pretty slick lefty from Houston, Texas. Right now we're just trying to get as much, lefty and righty sparring as much as possible. I'm sparring 3 times a week, and so far it's been really good, really productive.
Mostly just sparring in Texas?
Yeah, in Texas. There's a lot of good talent in Texas. I mean, as far as styles, there's a lot of different styles there where I train at San Antonio. Sometimes I go to Houston, but there's plenty of sparring there.
Now, I saw in the write-up that I had of you, you mentioned a couple different areas where it was kind of a hotbed for you as far as getting in work and sharpening up and everything. You mentioned sparring with professionals in San Antonio, Houston, and Dallas. So, in your opinion, what's giving you the best work? Which area?
It's different. I mean, in San Antonio, there's a lot of good work. I sparred with Mario Barrios before, who I train a little bit with him. He's really, really good work. I sparred with in Houston with Regis Prograis, with Oshaki Foster. I mean, there's a lot of good talent, but as far as which one's giving me the best, it's I don't know. It's hard. Styles make fights, and it's different. But I know that San Antonio has a lot of good talent, has a lot of fighters too. But as far as who gives me the most work, it is San Antonio, because I'm always sparring there in San Antonio.
Okay. I haven't had the chance to talk with Barrios before. How is it working with that guy, man? It seems like he's kind of arriving in a big way. So what's that like getting in work with him?
He's a really, really humble guy. He's really cool, really cool. He's very, very long. I mean, I think he's like 6'1", but yeah, he's really, really good work. Knows how to work, and it's a blessing to get to be able to spar with him. I spar with him once, and I know he trains over there with Virgil Hunter in the Bay Area. But whenever he comes down to San Antonio, I'll get a chance to talk to him or get a sparring in with him, or I'll see him train or something. But he's a really cool guy.
Now, where are you based out of exactly?
I live in Brownsville, Texas,
that's
but I train in San Antonio, Texas.
Okay. How far is that apart?
4 hours.
Damn. So you kind of doing the same thing that the one Ryan was doing. the redhead kid from Texas that was traveling over to Houston. I can't remember his whole name, but he kind of had the same situation from what I understood.
Yeah, man. I mean, down here in the valley, we have talent as well in Brownsville and Harlingen, the surrounding area of Brownsville. But I mean, I feel like the best work is also in San Antonio, because all those the surrounding cities in San Antonio. San Antonio is a big city, and also my coach Rick Nunez, who is the trainer of Mario Barrios, he helps me out a lot when I'm in San Antonio, and my dad trains me when I'm down here in Brownsville.
Okay. Nope. I didn't want to mess up your nickname, man. It looks like El Relampago to me, but can you say that for the people out there? Let them know what your nickname is.
Yeah, it's El Relampago. That means lightning in Spanish.
Dope. What's behind that, man?
I mean, ever since I was small, I mean, I love to be fast, and you know, when we started out boxing, my older brother and I, it was more like he was the brawler and I was like the kid that didn't want to get hit. You know, I was very afraid of the sport. So I tried to be as quick as possible to survive in the ring. Before, I didn't like the sport. I got older, I saw that, hey, this defense is starting to work a lot. You know, let me start putting some offense in there. I started getting faster and faster. And I told my dad, you know, I want my nickname to be Lightning or the Flash or something. But he said, you know, your last name is Juarez, Juarz, Juarez. Let's make it something, you know, with Spanish. It sounds stronger, and ever since then, it was a couple of years ago, a lot of people call me that now.
All right, slick. So, pretty athletic family, man, and you're a young guy. I think 19 right now, correct?
Yes, sir.
Man, I gotta ask you. I know with most of us, as we enter the workforce and you know get to looking around at, you know, co-workers and getting a lay of the land, you know, we might be taken aback by different individuals in our workplace. Right now, man, super lightweight is just it's a ton of excellent fighters right there right now. So, I mean, we know that you're, you know, some time away from arriving, man. But what's your outlook on this division right now?
It's a very hard. I mean, to me, from 130 all the way to maybe 154, it's stacked. It has a lot of good talent, a lot of dangerous fighters, but I don't know. I mean, I'm barely at my third fight. I have a feeling after a couple of fights, depending if my body grows, if it doesn't, I'll go down to 135. If not, stay at 140. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I mean, my older brother did have a late growth spurt at 21. So if that happens to me, it's going to be different. I don't know what's going to happen. But so far, the division looks pretty tough.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Looking out, man. I mean, you've been fortunate enough to you know, start out in the manner that you have, fighting on these bigger events. I'm trying to my computer. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, fighting on the undercard of some of these different premier boxing champion events. How have you managed to get into this position?
Well, it all started in it was a year ago. It was a year ago. I was competing. I ended my amateur career with 120 fights, 5 national titles. I was competing after competing, and the coach I have now that is with that I go to train with in San Antonio. He had seen me at a tournament. It was a national qualifier, and he saw me stopping people to the body and everything. And he was like, "Hey, man, you know, I want to help you out. I want to help you and your dad out." You know, he already had, you know, the connection with those people with PBC through Mario Barrios, and you know, he helped me out, and it was a blessing and everything. And so far, we've been working hard ever since. I mean, my first fight got televised on Fox Sports 1, which was a blessing.
Oh wow. That was with I'm kind of looking at BoxRec right now. So against Matt Gavers.
Yes, sir.
4-round unanimous decision. You know, how was that for your? You know, how was that for your debut?
It was a tough debut, honestly. I mean, I've seen a lot of, because back at home, you know, a lot of people go fight in Mexico and everything, and I've been to a lot of pro fights down here, you know, in the Valley, and I've seen, like, man, you know, I'm ready to turn pro and everything. I was ready, but at that level, you know, they're not going to give me someone that'll go down with just a jab. So this guy, he was a tough guy. I mean, it was a good experience. I took a couple of shots with those 8-ounce gloves, but I kept fighting. I fought smart the whole fight, and I came up with a unanimous decision.
Slick. Are you aware of you know, the benefit to you getting this start? Some of the structure and things being as they're supposed to be or as close to possible. But are you cognizant of the fact that this is such a easier start in terms of you know, some of these club shows are tricky, man. I mean, are you aware that you're being able to kind of skip those kind of questionable situations?
Yeah, in a way I am. I mean, I had always told my dad, you know, I want to start, you know, on the big stage and everything. And luckily, you know, we've been blessed with everything, and I'm just trying my best to keep going to get more experience sparring whoever, you know, no matter what. I'm always learning, and no matter what, I always stay humble.
Okay. So, kind of, I mean, are you like affiliated or signed to anybody yet? You know, promotionally. You know, like I said, you're appearing on these PBC cards, but are you still kind of just like a free agent or whatever at this point?
No. Right now, I'm signed with Al Heyman.
Okay. Have you actually had a chance to meet with him or talk phone call? Or how did that process go?
No, as of now, I haven't met him yet. I know one day I will, but my manager, Luis de Cubas, he's the one, and Bob Santos, they both were the ones that you know, they got me signed with him and everything, and I got to them through my coach in San Antonio, Rick Nunez.
Okay. The interesting thing, man, was that you're 19, as we just established a couple minutes ago. But in the bio that I was given about you, you're also doing. You're a motivational speaker.
Yes, sir.
Are there any similarities in preparing or performing, you know, as in both roles, as a speaker and as a boxer?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a beautiful road. You know, I started motivational speaking when I was 16 years old, and because the way we did it was I graduated at 16. And right after high school, I was doing college courses, but you know, we had one of his name is George Sanchez. He's my chief strategist. He was the one that helped us out with, you know, getting us into the school. He got us into one school, and then from there, you know, through the word of mouth, it just spread. And I talk about the 6 key principles and how to achieve your goals, how I interpret that, not just in boxing in school, but in my everyday life. I tell them about all my experiences and everything. So far, I've done over almost 40 campuses. It's currently going outside of my hometown, and I'm out in public. Everybody's telling me, "Hey, you're Omar Juarez. You know, I saw you on TV," or "Hey, you came to my school," and it's a beautiful feeling because, you know, I'm giving all them, especially because all the teachers tell me, since you're so young, you know, they listen to you rather than bringing in a 40-year-old or 50-year-old police officer, tell them, "Hey, don't do drugs." You know, I go there, and as soon as I tell them I'm 18 years old or I'm 19 years old, they're with their mouths open. They're like in awe because they don't believe. Sometimes when I go to the high schools, those kids are older than me, and I'm telling them how to achieve their goals, and they relate to me, and that's the best part. And I feel like every time that I go in the ring, you know, I'm fighting for my people. I always tell them that when I go out in the ring, I'm fighting for you guys, I'm fighting for my hometown, and I'm trying to make everybody proud.
All right. What was the inspiration for this, man? Like, I mean, you know, what was the source of kind of your message to share with other people? I mean, I'm 40. I'm 43, and, you know, I don't know if I could really motivate anybody in all of the stuff that I've kind of made it through. So what inspired you to get started in this?
Well, I mean, I love listening. Ever since I was small, I love listening to my family, my whole family. We like listening to motivational speeches on YouTube and everything. And I always told myself, one day I want to motivate people. I want to change people's lives. I want people to come up to me and say, "Hey, I'm successful because of you," or "Hey, I'm in a better position than I was because of you." I love that. I would love that feeling if somebody were come up to tell me that. So then, one time at a tournament here in my hometown. Our friend George Sanchez, he had seen me fight. I actually lost that tournament, but he said, "Hey, I'm going to help you out. I have a couple of connections here with the school district in Brownsville." He helped me out. Got into one school. He asked me, "You want to motivate students?" And I said, "It's crazy because you knew that I want to motivate people." It was a crazy thing. So then I started there in that one school. I was a little bit nervous, a little bit rusty. But it took me 3 or 4 schools, and I started going up. I started putting more emotion into the speeches, and that's where it all took off.
All right. What do you pull from, or who are some motivational speakers that you take some pointers from? I know sometimes on Facebook that Gary V dude pops up. He has his style.
Yeah.
We've seen some other people
I watch.
throughout.
I watch a lot of Eric Thomas.
Okay. I've heard the name before.
Yeah, he's the one that says, "If you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful." That's my favorite quote from him.
Okay. So what are you doing now in terms of you graduated at 16, which is phenomenal in itself. Are you going to school right now, or are you taking a break, or just seeing what's going on with boxing? Kind of what's your next move, education?
As far as education, I had about 10 credits already when I graduated high school. So I had told myself, I'm going to try to finish my basics. I went 2 semesters, and after that second semester, all this started happening. I had to travel everywhere, and I told myself I don't want to put school on hold. So I'm doing online courses as of now. It's going to be a slower process, but I gotta finish my education.
Okay. What are you trying to finish in? What are you trying to major in?
In nutrition.
Oh, okay. Some Chris Algieri type stuff.
Yeah. Dietetic nutrition, sports nutrition kind of stuff.
Okay. We've already my next question had something about the Texas boxing scene and how that's prepared you for the professional ranks. So I guess I'll skip that one since we kind of talked about that already. Is there any current fighter out there right now? Plenty in your state, but is there any fighter out there in the game that's kind of influenced your style?
I've heard a lot from my dad and my trainer from San Antonio. They tell me that I fight a lot like Caleb Plant.
Oh wow!
Yeah, to hit and not get hit. I mean that's my favorite style. I love to hit and not get hit. But unfortunately, there's just some fights that I got to put that pressure in. Of course, I don't want to just be a boring fighter that only has one style. I want to be able to do anything in the ring. But as far as if I were to choose my own style, yeah, it would be Caleb Plant.
That's a pretty successful guy. One of my favorite fighters.
Yeah.
I've actually had the chance to speak to him a couple times. So, very. Were you shocked at that win, man, against Jose Uzcategui? What'd you think watching that one? Since I'm assuming that's a guy that you kind of keep tabs on. Were you shocked at that performance?
Nah, I wasn't. I knew that. I've seen the other guys fight. I know he's a tough fighter. But the thing with Jose is, he leaves himself open a lot, and that's where Caleb took advantage. He uses speed and he uses boxing skills and his ring IQ, and that's what won him the fight. Okay.
Now, when you've mentioned a couple times about hitting without getting hit, now do you think this is something that could eventually, as there's more tape on you step up in levels? Is that something where you think guys could try to use that against you? I know some fighters kind of get that stigma attached to them that they don't like to get hit. I hear a lot that Keith Thurman doesn't like it to the body. Is that just kind of maybe a style that you've adapted just to help you in winning fights and keeping up kind of tallying a score in your head as you're fighting? or what's going on with that?
Yeah. I mean, I could take a hit. It's not that like I want to get in there because I'm trying to leave this sport as clean as possible. But to me, that's what boxing is. To hit and not get hit. Whether it's putting pressure, whether it's moving around the ring, whether it's staying in the middle of the ring. That's my mentality of the sport, is to hit and not get hit. But as far as do I have a weak point? Not really. I mean, I'm trying to be the best complete. There's no such thing as perfect, but I'm trying to be the closest to it. And I've been training really, really hard to not just have one type of style, but I've been trying my best to spar a lot of different experienced fighters that have different styles. Styles make fights, and hopefully within time, because it is a big transition from the amateur to the pros, because I've always had the same style from the amateurs. Professional level is very, very different. And within time, I'm going to be making a lot of noise.
Now, that's kind of, hit and get hit isn't necessarily, doesn't line up too well, with your Mexican heritage. So, and we hear a lot week to week about Mexican style, and, there's several different variations of that apparently, but how do you think this translates, in terms of attracting, Mexican fans, or is it just all about winning and it'll take care of itself?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I've been the reason why, because a lot of Mexicans down here they really don't they like to see a fight. It's very rare when they want to see a boxing match. When Mayweather would come out, they would say, we don't want to see him. They say he runs, but he doesn't. He boxes. That's the name of the game. You hit and not get hit. But it's very, very rare when you see a Mexican like boxing. And the reason why, and I haven't had a lot of people tell me anything, is because they love how I work that body. I mean, the bodies. I love working on. I love hitting the body because you hit the body and the head will fall.
Right. Yeah, I mean, do you think that's kind of something that maybe, guys your age and this generation, the next wave, do you think it's kind of an evolution to Mexican fight, Mexican style?
Yeah. I see like more and more people, working that body, like that similar Mexican style that Julio Cesar Chavez had. A lot of people are starting to see that it works. A lot of people are starting to use it. And they see that. I mean, the most fans are the Mexicans, and it's true. I mean, you look at when the Canelo fights. I mean, he's boxing's biggest star, and he has all those Mexican fans. It's crazy.
Okay. It looks like in September, you'll be coming up on your first year as a pro, man. What's your assessment of your progress, as you get ready to make it through your first year as a professional boxer?
It was a good ride. I mean, I still have about 2 more fights till September, I believe. I'm fighting every month and a half, so I'm not done yet. But as far as how it went, I mean, it was a big transition, and it was crazy. It was a dream come true. But I'm not going to stop. Think about it. I'm going to keep working hard and keep fighting hard. Keep putting in those wins.
All right. You've mentioned body punching. You mentioned your defensive prowess and hitting, not getting hit. You're at 5'9", which is pretty good height for super lightweight. What do you think, or what combination of your skills is going to help you gradually, separate yourself and establish yourself as a as an up and coming fighter in that division?
Man, I mean, I see myself. I mean, I always talk to the students about this. It's one of the very, very most important key principle is self-worth, and that's how you feel about yourself. And I feel that I tell myself each and every day, I'm the greatest of all time. I'm the best ever. Just the world doesn't know it yet. I mean, I can box, I can brawl, I can do anything. You just put an opponent in front of me, and I'll get to work. It is a big process, though. It is a big learning process and everything. I'm not saying right now I can take in the world champion right now at 140 pounds, but I'm saying within time, everything is a learning process, and I see that my mental strength right now, my mentality is that it's at 100% right now. I'm going to keep going. Nothing distracts me, and I'm ready to take on the world, the boxing world.
Let me know, man. I mean, have you? How many times have you sparred somebody like Regis Prograis, and have you, what's your thoughts on his improvement, as a fighter, and what's going on for him?
Yeah, I mean that's the first time I think that was the first time I sparred. No, I sparred Omar Figueroa Jr. He was a world champion. I sparred him, and then then the next world champion I sparred was Regis Prograis. I mean, he's a very, very smart fighter. He's very, very crafty, and I learned a lot in that spar. But as far as how I don't know. I just sparred him. We left. And that was pretty much it. But it was a very, very good spar, and I learned a lot. And that's exactly what I want. I mean, I don't want to spar people that I know I'm going to do good against. I want to spar against people that will take it to me, that will give me a lesson and show me, what's right from wrong, what works, what doesn't, and everything. And especially because he's a southpaw. I mean, those southpaws are tricky.
A good southpaw too.
Yeah.
Hey, so it looks like, after Barrios's last performance on the under or in the co-main, he was on the telecast. I forget if he was the co-main or not with Hurd and Williams in DC or in Virginia. It looks like those two could be on a crash course, man. So you've been in there with both guys. It's in your division. If those dudes, Regis comes out of this the World Boxing Super Series as the champion, or just if him and Barrios have to meet up at some point, man, how do you think those two guys measure up with one another?
I mean, I sparred both of them. Like I've only sparred them once,
okay.
And I mean, it could be their good day, it could be their bad day. I don't know. I mean, they're very, very different fighters. They're very, very good, explosive fighters. But if I were to have to choose one, I mean, I would choose Barrios. I mean, he's tall, he's strong, he's very, very smart for his age. I mean, it's crazy, and he's only growing. That's the crazy thing. But if I were to have to choose one, I would choose Barrios.
Wow. Okay. Now you're still young and everything. You had your amateur career, man. We're not too far off from the Olympics. I know there's some different changes, and I've heard different things about the status of boxing and whatnot. But why the move to go pro instead of trying to maybe take a stab at the Olympics?
I mean, that was my dream at like 16, 17. I wasn't old enough to do the 2016 one. And I told myself, let's try and finish school and see if we qualify for 2020. But all this stuff, with PBC and everything happened a year ago. A year ago, I had my last amateur fight in May a year ago. So after that, we signed and everything, and I had my debut in September, which is crazy. And I didn't think I would be at this stage until later, like 20, maybe 21, 22. Well, it happened, and I didn't want to stop and think about it. I just said, hey, this is what I was going to join the Olympics for, to get signed with people like this. Why waste all the years of my life if I could just do it now? I mean, might as well. Let's go. And I was ready.
Okay. Hey, this ton of young, talented, ton of current young, talented guys out there. I mean, Lopez, Teofimo, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, just tons of young talent out here, man. Kind of who is maybe a little, 5 to 10 fights ahead of you that you're keeping an eye on right now.
There's not really someone I'm keeping an eye on. I mean, I know there's a lot of good talent out there. There's a lot of prospects, so there's not really one that I'm keeping my eye on. I'm just doing what I do best, training, because there's a lot of fighters out there. I mean, there's a lot of them, and we never know what's going to happen to them. They go up, they go down in weight. I mean, we don't know what's gonna happen. But as far as keeping my eye on one, I don't. I'm just doing what I do best and sticking to my own lane.
Okay. All right, man. Coming up in a couple of weeks, man, on the 29th, you're going for your 4th win. Fighting this. Actually, they got you on BoxRec listed at welterweight. Is that what this fight is going to be at, or is that just an error?
No, I think it's gonna be. I think it's an error. I think it's gonna be at 140.
Okay. But Sayfullah Jihad Wise, guy is 3-6. You checked him out in any way, or what's going on with the preparation for him?
Yeah, we saw a fight of him. He's a slick southpaw that I heard he had like a lot of amateur experience as well. But yeah, we saw he was a southpaw, so I've been getting a lot of southpaw sparring.
Okay. I looked it up the other day. I thought he was from Philadelphia, man. Pretty good rivalry, in the world of professional sports with Philly and the Dallas area, I guess. But Philly fighters have their reputation. Any thoughts of or any experience with fighting any other Philadelphia fighters?
No, I have not. That's a place where I've never fought in there, and I've never fought a fighter from there. I fought a lot of people from California, Texas, Florida, New York, but never from Philly.
Okay. So pretty impressive. I mean, what's your thoughts, man? You're on these big cards. Here you have a Jermall Charlo, who's a guy with a pretty bright star. He's vying to get a shot at that Canelo lottery. Erickson Lubin is on this card, still kind of working his way back into contention. Who else is on here? But last time out you were around Danny Garcia, who made a lot of noise at 140 pounds. How are you taking all of this stuff in as a 19-year-old?
Man, it's cool. It's a dream come true because, man, I'm surrounded by all these world champions and all these, famous people. It's crazy, and I just fighters. I see a lot of people and going to these big places. I really, to me, it's just there's a boxing ring. I have an opponent. I'm going to do what I do best, and I go back home. That's pretty much it. But it's a beautiful atmosphere. I love it.
Okay. Lad, before we get off of here, man, I was just trying to jump on and jump off. I know you got tons of, just getting started here, and people will start getting familiar with you, as you continue to work your way into, a bigger attraction on these cards. What's some interest away from the ring, man?
I'm training all the time, but as far as my free time, I'll go golf. I'll go skateboard. I'm just normal kid. Hang out with my family. Not really much that I do. And then I just take a week off for the gym, and then I'm back at the gym. The gym's like my second home.
Okay, all right. Like I said, man, I've got your social media up here on the screen, so everybody will be able to find you. I definitely appreciate your time. Oh, the Instagram handle, Omar Gosh, is that a play on Oh My Gosh?
Yes, sir.
Who came up with that?
I think it was my sister came up with it. She had told me about that. She said you instead of Oh My Gosh, you should put your name as Omar Gosh. And I loved it ever since, and I put it. It's pretty funny.
Got you. All right. Well, anything else, man, that you'd like to you'd like fans to know about Omar Juarez?
No, just to keep an eye on me. I'm up and coming, very up and coming talent, very exciting fighter, and I'm ready. I'm ready for anything. I'm training hard, working hard, and slowly going up the pro ranks. And just keep an eye on me, not just the boxing world, but in everything. One day I'm going to be motivating athletes all over the world. That's my ultimate goal too. And just to be ready, June 29th. That's my next win.
All right, man. Appreciate you for giving me some time, man. Let me know. I'll check in with you. Now that I know who you are and you're on my radar, man, I'm gonna be making sure I catch these. Now, do you know if this is a chance for this one to make it to being televised, or that kind of up in the air at this point? It's a pretty deep card.
Yeah, this one I don't think so, since the main ones are going to be on Showtime. Usually, if the main ones will be on Fox, they'll show the preliminaries on FS1. But this one, as far as do I know it's going to be televised? No, but on my Facebook, I will be going live. I'll have somebody there going live, so that way they can see it out.
Okay. Anything happening in social media for you? You know, your numbers picking up, your follows or mentions or anything? Do you have a preference between?
Yeah, I see. I mean, I'm getting, after every fight, I'm getting more and more likes, more and more followers, and I mean, I'm just grinding. I don't really put my social media out there, but I mean, thank you for doing that. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Oh, before I let you get out of here, I mean, obviously a huge, as a Mexican American and a Mexican, however you identify, a huge week for your community, man. With Andy Ruiz taking down Anthony Joshua. What was your thoughts on that situation?
I mean, it was a good fight. I mean, he did prove a lot of people wrong. After that knockdown where Andy went down, I turned and I looked at where I was watching it. It was a sports bar. Everyone was just like they weren't surprised, that they said Anthony was too big and everything. And as soon as Andy brought him down, the whole crowd went wild and everyone was happy. It was crazy. It was pretty cool.
You're associated with the PBC. This was a really unexpected win for the PBC. For a PBC fighter. So there's a lot of talk with the power or the control of the heavyweight division now shifts over to the PBC. So it's great for the company and everything. Just what did it mean for you as far as being a member of the team?
It's pretty cool because a lot of people tell me, you're signed with PBC, you're signed with the best people. A lot of people hate on PBC because they say, they're the ones that took down HBO and all that stuff. I mean, I don't really get into it, but a lot of people tell me you're very, very lucky to be signed with good people. They're going to take care of you and they're going to build you up right. And I believe I have the best team with me. All
right, man. Well, like I said, thanks for the time, man. I'm going to try to jump out of here before my wife comes down here. I told her I wasn't doing much boxing today, but I know we were supposed to talk. So I'm going to get out here and finish my yard, man. Like I said, I'll keep an eye out on you in the future, man. And I hope to, you get this victory on the 29th, and we'll go from there.
All right, man. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
All right. Take care, man.
All right.
All right, that was Omar Juarez. Pretty cool kid, pretty cool, interesting guy. Like I said, he's been fighting on all of these. Looking at his box rec, man. I mean, he's having a chance to fight on all of these different. I'm trying to get something out of here while I'm trying to do this, and it's not happening. There we go. But he's having an opportunity to fight on all of these big cards, and like I said, man, I go to a lot of club shows, a lot of regional stuff, and I see that it's challenging for guys to get out here and get started. With 2 fights, 3 fights. I got a guy that IM'd me on Instagram. His trainer IM'd me on Instagram. And was just talking about, he sent me all this information, and I watched the dude training and everything that they do in training all the time. And I saw about a month ago where they had a fight planned. His son's debut was planned, and it didn't happen. And they were just kind of, downtrodden about it not happening because the dude trains relentlessly. So, he sent me some information like I could help him, and I was just like, I just write about boxing, and do podcasts and stuff. But I wish I could do something as hard as they work. So, like I said, it's really a blessing, man, to get hooked up with somebody like the PBC and be out here, boxing full time. You don't have to worry about opponents changing up and so on and so forth, man. I got some guys here in Dayton that I've watched them struggle to get fights and for things to go right on fight week or fight night in terms of medical exams and guys traveling here from out of town and just all kind of crazy stuff, man. So I wish Omar the best. Like I said, June 29th on the Jermall Charlo and Brandon Adams card. That's a big deal. I'm going to get ready to get on out of here. Like I said, man, I'm in the middle of cutting my yard. Just had the chance to speak with Omar. Wanted to get his story out there. And that's pretty much that. Enjoy the fights tonight on the Zone. Actually, they might have just started here at 7 or 7:30. I am going to watch my man Charles Conwell out of Cleveland, Ohio, trains in Toledo, Ohio. I'm gonna check him out, and then after that, I'm gonna step on out, and I'll come back and catch on to the Triple G fight tomorrow on demand. Hopefully, you had a chance to check out the podcast this week. That's the Bite Down podcast. That's up. Just Google Team Left Jab Radio, and then find the Bite Down Boxing with R.L. Woodson. And I was just talking about Anthony Joshua and Ruiz, and giving my spin on the whole thing. But enjoy the action night, man. Let me get on out of here. Peace.
Go.